Thank you, Jason, for being here. And before we get going, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I have 18 years of experience. I was a classroom teacher, middle school principal, high school principal, and the past 8 years I've been superintendent of schools in Melissa ISD.
Can you speak to the vast amount of change that's facing educators today?
Yes, certainly we've seen a lot of changes in education. We, just like everyone else, whether you're in Texas or in the nation, our stakeholders have higher expectations for student learning, but less resources to provide that to meet those expectations.
How do these large-scale cuts we see at the federal and state level trickle down to the classroom?
Well, the way it trickles down to the classroom, it really goes back to the amount of resources we're able to provide. And when you're making cuts at such a large level, what that forces the school system to do is determine what are our priorities. And our main priority is ensuring that we have the best educators for each one of our children. So what you're going to see is a higher percentage of the school district budget being invested in teachers, classroom teachers. What that also means is less resources going into the classroom to meet the educational needs of kids. So you provide the main resource, which is the classroom teacher. That's going to mean less resources when it talks about what are going to be the instructional tools used with the teacher and the student. So that's what we've got to come up with. How do we find a solution to replace those resources that we no longer have for the teacher to use with the students in the classroom?
So is the paradigm for education shifting?
Without question, I think the paradigm is shifting in the sense that there is higher expectations for school systems to look at acquiring resources other than the state and federal government. And in that sense, we're going to look to our stakeholders. We're going to look to our community members. We're going to look to our parent volunteer organizations. How can we use them and look at them as another alternative resource for those instructional tools to bring into the classroom? So that does make us lean a little bit more on our current partnerships that we've always had, like our PTOs, our parent-teacher organizations, our booster clubs. We are definitely looking at them, not in the sense to help us. In the past, we've looked at these organizations as just another way to help supplement what we're doing in the classroom. Now we're looking at them in a way to help supplant some of those instructional resources that we once were counting on from the state and federal government. We're looking at them to help replace what we once had.
And leveraging these resources is a crucial tool then for educators?
Oh, without doubt. It's an exciting time to be in education. We have access to the internet. We have nearly 90% of our student body. We're talking about kindergarten on up of our students having access to technology, whether it's their cell phones or through laptops or iPads or whatever technological device. The difficulty is all of this great instructional resources are available on the internet. Who's going to organize all that? Who's going to manage all of that? Those cost resources. Those cost money to help either hire people to organize these resources or pay for software or technology that's going to organize it for you. And so those are some resources that we're going to have to go out and spend and get or acquire in some fashion.
Given all these changes, we hear so much about the negatives. What are the positives?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is a tough time for a lot of school systems because there have been a lot of tremendous cuts. For us at Melissa ISD and our community of Melissa, we look at this as a very exciting time. We think this is a time that a lot of new opportunities are really coming about because we're seeing a lot more flexibility given back to the school students, saying, hey, we're going to give you a lot more responsibility because we don't have these resources at the state or federal level. So the idea of us being able to take more control, that's given us a lot more flexibility for us to be able to join in and create new partnerships that we did not have the opportunity or option to have these partnerships in the past. And we see that. We see that, and particularly we see that as an option for us to look to organizations like School Spirit Pays and say, hey, we want to partner up with you because we see you as a true partner for what's in the best interest of the kids of Melissa ISD.
What interests you most about School Spirit Pays?
One of the things that has to be very unique and something that is very appealing to me when I heard about School Spirit Pays is the what I would say return on energy from our volunteers who are putting in the time, because we really look to our volunteers and they spend a tremendous amount of time and energy investing in the school for fundraisers. And typically, if they have $5,000 that they raise, that's a lot of money for that organization. Sometimes they may get up to $10,000, and yet they spent a tremendous amount of energy, even weeks and months in planning just to be able to get $5,000 or $10,000. School Spirit Pays offers a new type of partnership where the amount of energy spent is going to create, you have one vendor or one organization that invests in the School Spirit Pays partnership. That's going to be a recurring revenue or fundraising opportunity for Melissa Education Foundation that's going to go right back to the kids at Melissa ISD. It's going to be year after year after year. So that one time spent is going to be a recurring savings or recurring funding year after year that we can count on, which is very exciting. It makes so much sense when you think about return on investment versus return on energy that we ask our volunteers here in Melissa to commit to.